Welcome back to another segment of what I shared on Instagram stories. Last Friday, I shared what I made for dinner. It was a new crock pot recipe. You know, I'm a slow cooker type of gal, and that I typically make a pretty good size family dinner every Friday because that is grandparenting day and I have the little ones, and when mom and dad come and pick up the grandbabies, I like to have dinner prepared for them. So I'm sharing that and the recipe because it definitely was a keeper. Also, I talk about our family's favorite dinner rolls, and I go into great detail for good reason. And I also shared a cookie recipe that one of you, a viewer, someone who watches me on Instagram stories, direct messaged me and said, this looks like a Gigi and Junie cookie. So I saved it and I made that recipe, and you'll find out whether or not it was a keeper. And then on top of that, I walked you through some more of my systems. I've been sharing a lot of my systems on Instagram stories like I always do, and it's really nice for you to have these videos to revert back to. I did a little updated system of where I store things or where I keep seasonal things that I don't often resource. I made a change with that and I optimized my method. So I shared that in the footage that you will see. And then I ended with a little story on getting backhanded comments. We're all at the mercy of getting backhanded comments from people we know, maybe people that are loved ones or relatives or coworkers or friends. Those little comments that they're kind of off the hook because it's not really direct, it's more indirect, but they somehow make their point. And if you were to question them on it, they'd be like, what? I didn't mean any harm. Well, I talk a little bit about that after receiving a couple different backhanded comments from followers or viewers. So check it all out right here on YouTube. Let's take a look. Good Friday morning. Bless you. Bless you, coffee. Who can relate? I am trying a new recipe today, so I will let you know how it is and what everyone thinks of it. It's basically just chicken, potatoes. So there's 4 very generous sized boneless, skinless chicken breast on the bottom, and then potatoes that Pa prepped last night. And the recipe calls for baby carrots, but we had just a bag of regular carrots left over from making slow cooker cheeseburger soup a couple of days ago. So we used those up and he took care of prepping those. I've shared before that my slow cooker cheeseburger soup, which has potatoes in it as well, I start that before my workout, where most of my crockpot meals I start after my workout. But because this one had potatoes as well, I decided to start it pre-workout. That's why you're seeing me doing this right now instead of my workout, but that is where we're heading. I'm still in my pajamas, so I do have to go get those on. But I will put this on low for 8 hours, but it'll definitely cook longer or slow cook longer because dinner won't be until maybe like 4. But yeah, dinner is on, coffee is made, and workout is about to begin. Let me just say this. If you are someone who would like to get up and do your workout first thing in the morning, whatever time that is, and you struggle, well, I would love to be the person that tells you that struggle
goes away. It doesn't. I've shared before. You just get used to the struggle. You never get used to getting up early. You just get used to the struggle. But especially if you're a coffee drinker, push through. I've been kind of paying attention, just based on a recent coaching session, how long it takes for me to kind of get in a good place. Like how, I mean, it's, I don't know, maybe for some people it's not torture, but for this girl, it's always been torture. But how long before I'm in a good place? Well, because I'm cold, I'm tired, I'm just miserable, I know what's coming. You know, I don't wake up in a good place, but I try not to think about it. I put my focus somewhere else, like on the backside of how I'm going to feel instead of the front end. But I would say about 12 minutes into my ARC trainer work, you know, I do work on my ARC trainer to wake up, which I love. I would say about by 12 minutes in, my body is warm. I've had a few sips of coffee and I'm in a better place. So it's a matter of just pushing through that hard, right? I always say, choose your hard. It's all hard. The struggle will always be there. No one is jumping out of bed in the morning to do anything. Or maybe you are. Not most people I know, not most people, or if all people that I work with. It's a struggle. You get used to the struggle, push through, because very soon after, you're just in a much better place. You're already there. You're already dressed. You're already on the machine or picking up the weight or starting the video. You're there. You just have to get through those first few minutes. That's all it is. Get through the first few minutes. Okay, time to go get dressed for, let's go get dressed, get this workout done, head to my walk-in closet where my workout clothes are. Oh no. It's dark. Yeah, I need to turn my flashlight on there's my coffee. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, I have to stop filming because we don't want to carry actually, let's go in here. Let's put your coffee down. I have to use my flashlight to walk to my walk-in closet. I can hear rain, and that doesn't help. When you can hear like sleety, snowy rain, like what we're doing here in Michigan, it just makes you want to go back to bed. I mean, the kids had two snow days this week. You just want to be back in bed. I know how much you guys like my systems, so that's my ARC trainer. Just restoring back to its state after jumping off. As you know, I shared in a YouTube video, like one of the ones that I posted, I think this past week. So check it out. I walked you through all of my systems. This clipboard here on my little makeup side table, my little end table that I make up for every morning. That clipboard is lighter in weight than this one. So what I do after I'm done on my ARC trainer is I pull today's block schedule and I switch it over to this clipboard. This is the clipboard that kind of stays with me throughout the day because it has all of my bullets on there of what needs to get done. You can see a lot of things are Sharpied out because that's what I do when I'm doing my admin work, personal work, whatever's on the document. Just removed my table because I still will be doing cardio this morning, so I moved that to that spot, and I attached tomorrow's block schedule. So one of the things that I do in the morning while I'm on my ARC trainer is I print the next day's schedule. And then when I go up at some point to go to the bathroom or get another cup of coffee, I attach tomorrow's to this lighter weight clipboard, which stays there. Pen and Sharpie stays there. I always have pen and Sharpie with this clipboard, and then clearly pen and Sharpie where I check off all of my workout boxes. I wanted to share with you too, I think you'll enjoy this. I recently shared, and again, it's on YouTube. I've been sharing good content like this that you guys like to refer back to on YouTube. So check out my 2 YouTube videos this week, one on Sunday and one on Tuesday, where I actually talk about this, I'm pretty sure, in those videos. But I had walked you through how I remind myself where something is stored. And I shared that I used to keep that tallying list on my phone. In the Notes app on my phone, I kept a list titled Where It's Stored or Where I Stored It. And then I would just have this tallying list, but it didn't have any rhyme or reason. I never took the time to categorize it. Well, because I'm not a phone person, I'm a laptop girl. I'm looking at this the majority of my day where most people are looking at their phone. Pick your poison. Probably a lot of it is eyesight and everything else. And I have everything I need here on my laptop where I don't have everything that I need on my phone. And it's just my preference because I work and most of my work takes place on my laptop. And I think most of you already know that. But if you're new, this is good information. You know, Tracy doesn't spend a lot of time on her phone. Well, I shared in that story, which again now is on a YouTube video, that I had started gradually adding those where I stored something to my task list. I would put it on a particular day's list, and then I would set it to go off, let's say, weekly. And I shared that once something's ingrained well enough, I can move it maybe monthly or whatever. But I decided to go back to a different system and not go back to the Notes app on my phone because I'm not on my phone, but do a better system on my computer. So I actually created a document in my Google Docs where it's stored, and then I have categories. So I have household, grocery, entertaining, baby, toddler items, Chloe, some of her belongings, guest bedroom, my personal stuff. Look at how long. We are 2 pages, almost 2 complete pages, 1 3/4 page full of me listing where things are stored because I won't remember. And I look at this and I think, do you know how many people are walking around this planet with like deer in the headlights and can't find something? I mean, if I have, as a homeowner, as a human, all these things that a lot of them are seasonal or, baby items that we don't need to use right now, but at some point we may, because babies turn into toddlers and toddlers turn into preschoolers and the needs of the belongings change. Or like packing stuff, certain things that are packing related or entertaining. I don't entertain, weekly, but I do entertain often, and I need to know where I store certain things, literally down to extra outlet covers. So for example, because we have babies and toddlers in the home, our outlets are covered with little outlet covers. Well, we have extra. So let's just say one goes missing and I need to get another outlet cover. Well, they're just not sitting out on the kitchen table or the kitchen counter, just sitting there in a Ziploc bag. They're stored someplace, but because I really don't need them because all of our outlets are covered. Or maybe one of the girls asks me, Hey, Mom, do you have any extra outlet covers? We need some more for our home. I am never going to remember where I stored them, so it's in here. I will forget that we have extra cases of pop down in the basement, and then I'll go to the grocery store and buy more when I don't even need it. My point is, after watching my own story, well, actually, I watched the YouTube video. After watching that, I too got inspired by my message. So I get what it's like to be on the other side and feel motivated and inspired. And I thought, I'm going to optimize this system, even though it really was a well-oiled machine. Because the job was being done, I'm being reminded of where things are stored. I'm not walking around deer in the headlights or my head up my you-know-what, like many people walk around this world with their head up there. I still was checking off the box. I still was executing in the goal of knowing where something is stored because I won't remember up here. But I just thought I'm going to optimize this a little bit more. And while doing my physical activity this week on my ARC trainer, which again, my heart rate is not up very high. It's only physical activity. I average about 88 beats per minute. So it's by no means cardio, although people will count that as cardio. I just actually had a question. Oh, I should read that one to you guys. But I think most of you following me and all of you that do 3-week intense would know that just because I'm on a cardio machine does not mean I am doing cardio. I still need to do cardio today. It'll probably be a short one though at this stage because I'm on here talking to you and I need to be done with my entire workout by a certain time. But I haven't been on a lot, so I'm just playing catch up. Anyway, where am I going? Yes. So being inspired to do this. So throughout the week, I worked on this and it's done. Today is Friday. The document is done. I started it on Monday and all of it took place while I was actually getting steps in. I was actually moving my body on my ARC trainer, or I was on this bike because I do work on this bike pretty much every morning also. And I've added something that I'm trying to do every morning. I'm doing pretty good. We are 26 days into the new year. It was something that was a goal of mine for quarter one, and I am doing pretty good, and I feel accomplished about doing that. I haven't achieved every single goal that I've set out to achieve, and I shared recently about that, I think, in one of those YouTube videos, but this took me Monday through Friday to get everything in there out of my task list, transfer it over to the document, and I feel really great about it. So I just want to share, and I know that you guys love hearing other people's systems and how I do things to be optimal. Okay, what are we training today? Well, according to my notes, and I know I want to do shoulders last, today is back day. And then tomorrow will be shoulders. That's for upper body. Then I still have legs and cardio too. But all right, back at it, and feeling much better. Thank you, coffee. Thank you, coffee. Just thank you. Yes. With Valentine's Day fast approaching, maybe one of the outfits that I share with you today will inspire you, depending on what's on your agenda to celebrate your love. Here's Paul's plate. Good old comfort food for a gloomy day. I had someone ask me after yesterday's stories where I stored it document so I know that I have it. And that's such a great question because it's easy to create a document and then forget you have the document, right? So we also, there's like many layers and steps to memory. And if you're not there yet, well, celebrate that win. I'd love to tell you you won't eventually get there. And I don't really believe it's an age thing. I believe it's more of too much on the plate, a lot of moving parts, so many active roles. And that's not a negative, right? Those are all wonderful blessings to your life. So right now, I just have it stored to show up every Saturday on my Google task list. Another mention, I've talked about these and I will continue for good reason. So please screenshot, and whatever system that you have to keep track of food items that you love or food items that your loved ones love. So let's just say you'll be hosting Easter this year. And I encourage you, if you don't already know who's hosting Easter, get on it. Do you have any of your orders made? We already have orders for Easter dinner. Yes, already. I can't stress enough. Get on it. I do know what I'm talking about. Okay. You can't trick the trickster, the person who's made errors throughout her life and learned an adjusted course. These dinner rolls, our family, we have decided, yes, we do stuff like this. Like we have major conversations about food. We are a foodie family. There's pros and cons to that. We have come to the conclusion that these are the best dinner rolls. And they need to be the Rhodes Artisan French rolls. They are incredible. So we no longer, any other rolls we're done with. We will always go to these. They never fail. And everyone loves them. From the outside to the inside. Now, I've never done the microwave method. I can't imagine they would turn out great from that method. I always do the oven method. And what I have found to be the best trick, so please take notes in your entertaining document because I trust you have one, or your grocery list, whatever system you use to record, again, things you love and how to prepare them. What I do is, because you're often baking your dinner rolls right before serving dinner, these are actually great to butter the tops of before putting them in the oven, but it takes time to butter several dinner rolls when you have guests arriving and you're trying to do the final details of the dinner you're preparing. So what I've changed, or my new method, is hours before serving dinner, I take the rolls out of the freezer, I butter each of them, and I put them back into a kind of storage, or an old term would be Tupperware. Dating myself, yes, dating myself, a Tupperware type container, now probably called Rubbermaid. Tupperware, I'm telling you, it's just some things you want them to stick. If you want to go big, they have to stick, and Tupperware did it. But I will butter each of them, put them back into a container, cover the container, put them back in the freezer until I need them. And then I just pop them on the baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and I throw them in the oven about 15 minutes. I think they bake maybe 12 to 14 minutes. And they're so good, you guys. And then, of course, have a room temperature stick of butter ready to go, maybe two, depending on how many people you're serving. But I really just do have to share this. They are so amazing. Back at you to do a little sharing on backhanded comments, or when someone says something that you clearly know is just coming from their own wounds, their own insecurities, but they somehow give you what we call a backhanded comment. I recently shared a backhanded comment that I got on YouTube, and I think I shared it a week ago Thursday, and I would have saved that to the Thursday highlight. I'm not sure if I've closed out the Thursday highlight, but I'm pretty sure I shared it when I was at the hotel waiting to pick up my second daughter, Haley, and her boyfriend, Vin, from the airport. And that would have been a week ago Thursday. So you could always go to that highlight and see if it's still there. And I had shared in there that it's one of those, a backhanded comment is more when they almost could get away with, what? I didn't mean any harm, but yet you kind of insulted the person that you're giving it to, but then you always kind of follow up with, I mean well, I hope you don't take it personally, and then they end with like a heart. I love you. You're so great. I love all of your, that type of stuff. And it's just, when you are on my side and you see it in comments, a lot of times these people would never say it to your face. I mean, that's one thing you always have to remind yourself. So I hope my sharing helps you to just take it with a grain of salt. It's usually other people's insecurities emerging. I mean, it honestly is. And we all have insecurities. Let's be honest. We all do. No one skates through life without an insecurity. It's what you do with it. And checking yourself, am I wearing it on my sleeve by comments that I make to other people? It's really, life is all about really checking ourselves because we can't control what other people do. Well, it's really interesting. Yesterday, my video went out, a fashion video where I shared 3 looks with you that I got inspiration from a picture, and then I created that look. I love doing that. I love doing that. If you haven't checked out the video, check it out. I'll put another link in here. Well, I always share my videos to Facebook as well, which Facebook isn't like the greatest platform, but I still put it out there. And although I don't get much traction or attention there, I do believe people are watching the video, even if they're not commenting or giving it a like, and I'm okay with that. I don't take any of that personally. But anyway, someone left a comment. I think I got maybe 1 like, I don't know, maybe 2 on my Facebook post. But again, that's pretty typical. Now, if I share something about family or something in my personal life, I get a lot of recognition or likes because that's really kind of what Facebook is for, but I still publish my videos there. It's just another place to get it out there. Some lady, not someone that I know, but someone that must follow me on Facebook, commented on that video and said, it must be nice to be young, or something like only to be young again. I'd like to read it to you, but just wait, just wait. And I read it, and I did the typical, like, in Tracy's mind, like, just kind of like, whatever, whatever. I kind of knew what she meant. Well, first of all, let me just say this. I by no means see me as young, although I feel young. I will be 53 years old in June, and I don't really see 53 as young. Maybe it's because I'm a mother of 5 and I have 5 adult children, and I see them as young, and I don't categorize myself in the same box, but I do feel their age at times, which is a great place to be, right? Most people will share they feel younger than their age. My mother-in-law, who is 82, she has shared with me more than once, she does not feel 82. And she said it's really common, and you'll see what I mean. And I remember saying, but I don't even feel the age that I am. So, which I think is so great, right? Because we can't stop the clock. We can't change the number. The year that we were born is the year that we were born. What are you going to do with it, right? You can't reverse that. But I don't see 52, 53 as being young. But But I can see where if you're in your 80s, you may see it that way, right? My daughter, who's 30, may not see herself as being young. We all get to look at numbers or age differently, and a lot of it is the age we're at. So clearly this person must think I'm young. So maybe she's in her 80s. I have no idea. None of that really matters. It's just, I kind of knew the comment and what it meant. Like, basically, you look great because you're young, right? You look great because you're young. To be young again. Must be nice to be young, right? And that's why you look great. Well, I truly believe people look great at all ages. That's been my observation, and I've been around for almost 53 years. So I think people of all ages look great. But again, this is coming probably not so much about the person's age, but how they see themselves. Again, our insecurities can show up in the comments that we make. And please don't get caught up in the story, but more of the message. But here's what's interesting. When I did my cardio this morning, I watched 2 videos of mine. The one that publishes tomorrow, which I really should have watched yesterday, but I didn't. So the one that publishes tomorrow, and then the one that publishes Tuesday. Haley happened to get that uploaded overnight, so it was great. I got an hour in of cardio. Bam! Celebrate that win by watching 2 of my videos just to see if there's anything that needs to be changed or anything that I need to add to the drop-down box, because I do a lot of that contributing. And after I got done watching the videos, I did have about 4 minutes left to get to an hour of cardio, so I thought I'll just peek around other sites. And I toggled over to Facebook, which I don't typically check Facebook on my computer, but I'm not much of a phone person, so I was there, I toggled over, and I went to like my page and I was scrolling, and I was like, that is weird. That is so weird. That comment that was left for me yesterday, which by the way, I never liked it, I never unliked it, and I never took the time to respond. What am I going to do? This person gets to see me as young, and that's beautiful. What a beautiful thing. But I know the backhand behind it, right? I know the backhand behind it. I'm pretty fluent and well-versed in this area. Anyone who does what I do, and again, I get very little. I mean, if you were to run the numbers of all the positives to that little tiny bit of that, I don't even put focus there. And again, I can't help people with their own insecurities, or work with me, right? Work with me. I'd love to help you. Because my time is so valuable, I just don't take time for that. But it was interesting that it was no longer there. It just was no longer there. I didn't touch the comment. I did nothing with it, but it was no longer there. So the only 2 people that can control that comment to be deleted is me, because it's my account, and the person sending it. So I am making an assumption here, and we have to be careful with our assumptions, but I'm assuming after the fact, this person actually realized how ridiculous of a comment that was, in that she probably kind of maybe felt bad. We don't know, right? We can only speculate. So the message that I'm sharing, and I say this all the time, always check yourself before hitting send when you send a text message, an email, leave a comment, especially if there's any negativity or energy behind it, because you may regret that later. And here's just a life tip. Who wants to have any regrets in life, right? I mean, doing something that you would do differently next time is only an opportunity to learn. So hopefully that took place, but one only knows. But you can prevent that on the front end by not hitting send. It's okay to have a thought. It's okay to think, wow, she looks amazing. Must be nice to be young. And maybe then to check yourself and say, where's that coming from? Is my thought around that coming from a good place? Or do I have just some insecurities about how I've taken care of myself? I mean, that may be the case, right? We don't know. It's the other person's journey. But the fact that the message
or the comment disappeared and I didn't make that disappear, tells me that the person who typed it did. And after a while, who knows how long, but at some point, she didn't feel good about leaving that. And then she went in and took it down, right? So I'm sharing this as a reminder that we all need, I need it too, to check ourselves. When I get something like that, I am thankful in some ways to be reminded, Trace, just remember, don't ever do that to someone. You're better than that. You're bigger than that, right? And you have your insecurities too. Do I ever see something published and I have an insecurity around it because it's an area that maybe I'm weak in? Or again, just have insecurities? Yes, we're human. It's what you do with that, because you're never going to feel good at the end of the day putting something out there negative. I mean, some of you are going to say, no, there's people, Tracy, that get great pleasure out of that. I'm with you. I do believe initially, but I work with a lot of clients, and I have for 16 years. And I've heard many times in coaching, clients say to me, I'm just ugly, Tracy. I put out ugly to people. I put out nasty to people. Well, I have no idea why that's showing up. Sorry. I really don't like myself because of that. So yeah, maybe initially they get great pleasure of being that person that leaves that nasty comment, or even if it's not really nasty, but it has some agenda behind it to make you look like you look good because of this or whatever, not because you put the work in. Deep in the core, those people don't typically like themselves, you guys. Right? They really don't like themselves. So, yeah. I hope if that's the case, this person said, check, what's the opportunity here, Lord? I wasn't happy I did that, and I'm going to bank it in my just don't do it again storage bank that hopefully we all have. It doesn't mean we ruminate. It doesn't mean we ruminate on the little blunders and errors that we make, but you also don't really want to completely forget them. Bank them in something that is your teaching bank. It's my learning toolbox so that I don't do that again, right? Okay. Yeah, I thought this was a great and strong message to share. So, all right. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the footage. Please let me know in the comment section below. Always welcome you to weigh in. Come back on Sunday. I'm sharing my January empties, the products that I used up, and a couple of things that I picked up. And don't forget that on Monday, my monthly newsletter goes out where I share everything that I purchased throughout the month. The first Monday of every month, it's a special newsletter of a compilation of everything that I bought throughout the previous month, and Paul usually weighs in and shares what he bought as well, and that will be in there. And then also, I have a workshop coming up later this month on Saturday, February 24th. I'll have a link in the description box where you can get more details and get registered for that, but you're going to love it. So many of you have been waiting for me to do a workshop walking you through how to create that self-checklist, that daily document to hold you accountable, to help you with some of your blind spots or anything that you're working on. There will be a link so that you can go to the course page to get more information and get signed up.